Good morning, it's Monday and I'm live in Los Angeles, California. Namaste. Good morning and namaste, my friends, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Stepº23. Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy, here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. Such a pleasure to light walk with you today, my friend. I'm lovecasting live in 5 dimensions on this beautiful Temple of Gaia on Monday, April 13th, 2015. And today we're stepping into emotional mastery as step 23 rules the day. Now, step 23 is basically when we begin to feel a connection to ourself and to reality. So you could say it's first contact. In a lot of ways, this is first contact of our new ego we've been working on for the last 22 days. And that ego has been fragile, I have to say. The lunar eclipse we had and the eclipse we had in solar eclipse in Pisces, really this energy has been very, very dynamic, very fragile in many ways, and also there's a lot of anger, a lot of old past release. So it's really a hodgepodge is what I've noticed myself and talking to my clients, a hodgepodge of at times feeling strong about the new you, at times feeling completely weak and just wanting to cry and give up. And right here included, just want to tell you, it's been a difficult time. Well, today I think we're going to feel the first connection to the new, the first real connection. We also might feel the first connection to the outer world, if you will, and maybe, for instance, start to have a conversation going. I'll talk about in the architecture of incarnation how this all builds up, and we'll also give you some tips to connecting yourself and how to stay in that intention. But before we do, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of the day. I feel my passion, I surrender to my belief. I feel my passion, but I surrender to my belief. Now, we've worked a lot on our beliefs. We're going to talk about belief today, especially with Jupiter direct. But when you doubt something, this is what I often call the yellow brick road. It's our belief that links to another belief that links to another belief. This is the collective conscious. So today, we want to connect. And if we haven't been able to, if we haven't been able to feel like we've connected to that part of ourselves, or connected to that person in the room, or connected to the idea we want to connect to, then the way you connect is you feel your passion, you feel your emotion, and you surrender to what you believe, and allow that to take you. So once more, just for the glow, I feel my passion today, and I surrender to my beliefs. And so it is. I thought so, because I said so. Now, the serious step of the day is step 23. This is 2 plus 3 makes 5. So technically, it's a Gemini day. This is a day where our minds are trying to get to a new conclusion. But to that conclusion, it takes the belief. That's how it sort of adds together. Gemini is, of course, Mercury. You'll see Mercury is quite advanced today. And, of course, it is the I think state of awareness. Now, in the architecture of incarnation, step 23 is in the 3rd dimension, mind, body, spirit. So it's something that is part of our spirit when we're up in the 20s. And today we're going to be feeling that 3. Now, 3 comes up 3 times, through a transit. The first time it happens is when we're just kind of opening up to the possibilities of the world. The second time is a breakthrough time, where only by following our philosophy do we get to the other side. And in the 3rd dimension, this is when the 3, by listening to our philosophy, listening to our religion, this is where the 3 helps us break on through to our other side, to quote a Sagittarius Jim Morris, right? So let's take a look at the colors today and the chakras that are involved.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Well, like I always say, the root is on fire. The root chakra is where it all starts for the entire time in Aries. So this is why we have energy, we don't have energy. We're suddenly, I was going to say we're horny, then we're not horny. I'll just use that word, but that's it. We're aggressive. And so the root is on fire, and even I have forgotten. Get on the treadmill, do some exercise, ground your root, and you will feel so much better in all this transit. Then we move up, of course, to yellow. Once we're in the 20s, our 3rd chakra yellow is open the entire time, and it's a passion time. So this is the butterflies in your stomach. This is the inability to eat. This is all those sorts of human, body experiences connected to yellow. So, some breath work in and out of that solar plexus will make you feel good. And then we open up to I think, which, believe it or not, I think comes from also yellow. So it's a double dose of yellow with our thoughts and our emotions. And this is why a lot of people actually get sick in their stomach and whatnot, because their thoughts, one of the yellow, and their feelings, the other yellow, isn't quite going together. There's literally turmoil between thoughts and feelings. So bring your thoughts and feelings together if you're having a lot of anxiety with all this red and yellow. So now let's look at the timing of things today with our cosmic clock. And here we are, looking at today's cosmic clock. Well, for starters, the sun is at step 23, 23 degrees into the Aries transit. Finally out of the orb, in my opinion, of Uranus, although we're still in that vortex. I mean, we're still straightening our reality out, but I think we're finally on the edge of having gone through all that radical change. And today with step 23, we are really putting our foot down in the final decan, in the final dimension, which is the creation of this new ego based on our hearts and all sorts of different things we're going to talk about right now. Now, Mercury is actually ruled by step 27 today, and today is a Mercury ruled day when you add up to 23. So where's Mercury? Well, it's at the Grand Master step of 27 Aries. 27 is a Grand Master Aries step. 2 plus 7 makes 9. So that means that our thoughts are literally carving out our high vibration attitude. So the actions you take today, the thoughts you allow to have resonance, the thoughts you give more energy to, these are indeed having more of a profound footstep in your life today. So be mindful, I guess, of your thoughts. Now, Jupiter is, of course, direct now. That's the big news. Jupiter at step 12 direct. But today, notice that with this direct, we are now moving forward with a new philosophy. One based on what we love, one, and how we feel. So really, your yardstick of how to navigate your life is, if you love it and you feel it, the answer is yes. I say today, go with your philosophy. Well, I don't know my philosophy. Well, in this moment, do you love it and you feel it? Then the answer is yes. Okay, so we're literally discovering our philosophy as we walk through the woods or walk out of the woods or out of the dark hour, whatever metaphor you want to use, but loving it and feeling it is what's important. Now, speaking of feeling it, let's talk about Venus. Venus is at step 2 in Gemini. All right, so we're now open to new thoughts and feelings. And Gemini is kind of an interesting state of awareness. It's the I think state of awareness. It is what rules the day today. It's why I'm bringing up Venus right now. And Venus is our ability to receive. So we're opening up to receiving thoughts and ideas, Gemini, about our feelings, step 2. So maybe we weren't willing to look at our feelings about something before. Maybe we were saying, I can't deal with that. Well, now might be the time that your mind unlocks certain vaults of certain things that you didn't want to think about because of the way it made you feel. But also, check this out, Venus opposes Saturn for the next few days, which means we're going to be caught in a tug-of-war between our thoughts and our feelings about receiving, our mind's thoughts about receiving, and our philosophy and our overall opinion about everything, Saturn in Sagittarius. And that's the thing, Jupiter, which I say is going forward in Leo, interesting point here, the last time Jupiter was direct, Saturn was in Scorpio, and we were finishing up the final touches of our emotional boundaries. Now Saturn is in Sagittarius, which means Jupiter is under discipline. So it's Jupiter under discipline expanding our heart. Jupiter under discipline with new direction expanding where our heart goes next. Not the old Jupiter that was a carefree and for all. So I think this Venus and Saturn opposition today is what I'm saying is a bit of a tug of war inside of yourself. On the one hand, wanting to open up to feeling and thinking differently. On the other, what's keeping you? Well, perhaps the old philosophy, the old me-religion, the old way of living in the moment at large, the way you were raised, that sort of thing. So it's one of those days when you find yourself up against a wall, you don't want to just question the wall, you want to question, what is a wall, right? All right, so looking at Mars, now Mars is ahead in Taurus, but interesting thing, Mars is at step 9, a Grandmaster step of Aries. So even though today is a step 23 day and we're early in the last decan of the Aries transit, for some reason God has given us Mercury at 27 and Mars at 9, both Grandmaster steps. This connection is somewhat of a Grandmaster step from what I can tell. So let's take a look now at how this all stacks up in our Tower of Truth. As you can see here, Mercury has reached and crossed, is way ahead now. Our mind is way ahead of where the sun is, and today the sun is at step 23 for most of the day. But as the sun sets, particularly in Central Time, that right about that moment, we move to the next degree, and so the sun will be step 24. That means that you might have caught wind, your feelings might feel something tonight, and you want to go with those feelings. That means if you found a connection, go with the emotional connection. If you didn't find a new connection in this period today as you're out exploring and connecting, well then buckle down and take care of how you do feel. That's the power of the 4. If you don't know what you do belong to emotionally, then you get connected to yourself and ask yourself what you feel like emotionally. So tonight, we're kind of getting ready for some maybe interesting breakthrough that will happen in the next couple of days. And it happens from following our philosophy today, following what you believe, following your new religion, letting it be the new religion, not necessarily the old way of thinking, and then seeing what it connects to emotionally tonight or through tomorrow. So let's give you a very simple joy quest to help you get to the day. Today's joy quest, should you choose to accept it, is go with what you know. You know, we are basically remembering what our soul already knows, bringing back together in this reality what our soul has already signed up for. So the truth is this isn't discovery, this isn't learning, this is remembering. This is going with what your soul resonates and knows. So don't necessarily go with the old familiar know. I don't mean that kind of know, like, oh, every day it's the same thing and this is what I know. No, I mean that when you find yourself in an opportunity or a fork or an interesting situation today, something about it you just know is to be this way or that way. It's your hunch, but it's so much deeper than a hunch. It adds up to really whether or not we get to discover things or not, because we're actually going with something we already know that we will discover. That's my point. So go with what you know today, my friend. Now, if you're watched over by my personal Sensei network, I'm going to help you find your way. First of all, at 9:09, I'll talk about what your heart is really looking for in your sun story, first of all. Then at 11:11 a.m., I'm going to talk about where your Jupiter fortune is located. I mean, at your natal point, or so where you were born, where was your Jupiter, and what did it mean for you? I'll give you some insight you might have not heard before. And then I will also give you at 3:03 p.m., what does it take for you to believe? Everyone has a certain little click that goes, okay, now I believe. I'll tell you what it takes for you to believe at 3:03 p.m. So let's now move on to today's telepathy. I'm going to send a little message here. Now, these are going to be some simple images of cute little animals that I came up with before the show. Am I fast forwarding in your third eye a picture of a monkey? Or 2, a picture of a squirrel? Or 3, a picture of a platypus? You can tell that my heart is online today. I'll have the answer of which of those little monkeys or platypuses or animals I had. Did I give it away? After this. Are you tired of being codependent? Have you ever wondered why you're always cheating? Why do you have to always mother everyone you date? I understand. The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Are you ready to find out the truth? Yes. In just one video, you'll understand what you're looking for in love and what you offer. You send us your date of birth, we send you a custom video that's all about you. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. And here we are. Welcome back to Namaste today. So first, for the answer for today's telepathy, I was picturing a funny little animal. Am I sending you a funny monkey, a funny squirrel, or a funny platypus? And the answer is monkey. You might have gotten that. I had a hard time there. The sun was in my eyes as I was going to commercial. But I was thinking about a funny monkey today. I think keeping it simple is important with psychic games. A lot of people are reporting that you're actually developing and you're getting proof day after day that you're good at this. So just keep going, my friend. So let's move on now to today's rock and roll gospel. I thought as we moved into the master Aries vibrations, we would not look at so much Aries musicians, but rather musicians whose legacy was like a powerful Aries, a big character-based solo artist. So we're looking at big solo artists as we finalize our Aries transit. And today, I just chose off the tip of my telepathy, Billy Joel. I just love Billy Joel. And you know, I didn't even do research on Billy Joel until I realized today he's a step 18 Taurus. He has my birthday. Not only my birthday, but he has the same year as my parents. So this guy is so much my vibration. I had no idea. That just goes to show you, you know, you don't have enough time on earth. So I chose, because I thought it was a very good day with step 23 ruling the day, I chose Piano Man. Just because it's this man telling a story of his life, and I love Billy Joel's stories. Every time you listen to one of his songs, it's like being in a movie. So if you need to kind of drift off and follow your own yellow brick road, your own footsteps, listen to some Billy Joel today. That is my recommendation of the rock and roll gospel. But before you rock and roll gospel, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight as to what I think Jupiter direct under a new philosophy will mean. So today we're going to talk about how you're feeling, and for your zodiac, where the new Jupiter philosophy is leading, starting with the step 0 Scorpios. Scorpios, cloudy, nesting, and resting today. You're going to need a little extra sleep, even though it's Monday and Tuesday. This is kind of your week's end. But it's time to look at your career with the new philosophy. So using that Saturn and Sag, look at your career and what your heart wants from a new philosophy, from a new angle. Step 1, the Leo, sunny and sentimental today. But I think it is now time to look at your star power and your charisma from a new philosophy or a new angle. Try coming at it from a new approach. Step 2's the Cancers, cloudy and detached today, but I'm recommending a new approach to your revenue streams or how you make your money. So look at new approaches to your soul capital, basically. Step 3, the Sagittarius is cloudy and pensive, a bit withdrawn today, but I think it's time to take a whole new approach to your religion, the way you philosophize about who you are, what you can be, and that leads to a different life purpose. So looking at your life purpose from a new philosophy. Step 4 is the Aquarius is cloudy but feeling cool today. I think it's time to look at your own relationship to yourself, your own marriage, and therefore all partnerships with new eyes, with a new philosophy. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and pensive today, but I think it's time to take a new angle on all of your thinking. So if your thinking comes from the heart or comes from logic, try something else. Try flipping the poles, seeing what happens. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and childlike today with the moon in Aquarius, but I think it's now time to look at a new demeanor in public. So a whole new approach of your demeanor, the way you come off, the way you vibrate. Try it from a new philosophy. Step 7, the Pisces, cloudy and spiritual today, but I think it's time to come up with a new way of feeling in the now. So if you've just gotten used to feeling this way, well, ask yourself, do you like that? Try feeling in the now a different way. Step 8, the Capricorn, sunny and productive today, but now it's time to come up with a new reason to trust yourself, a new philosophy, a new reason to trust yourself. And that philosophy will carry you at times when you actually don't trust yourself, by the way. Step 9, the birthday Aries, sunny and social today with the moon in Aquarius. Time to approach your own self-love differently. So if you used to love yourself tough, will be now a soft lover. If you were always too soft on yourself, well, maybe a little tough love is the approach. So a new philosophy of how you self-love. Step 10, the Taurus is sunny and professional today, but it's time to find a new reason to feel secure. So if you've always felt secure when you had money or felt secure when you known the end, well, it's time to find a new reason to feel secure. And finally, the Virgos, step 11's sunny and hyper aware, but it's now time to find a new connection or new conversation with God. Yeah, but that's going to bring you ultimate joy, because once you have that connection, you're going to be able to feel very confident those Virgo details to make it real. All right, moving on to our Lightwalker Parade. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. I thank you ahead of time. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by going to soulgarden.me. And if you'd like to purchase a reading or any one of my other products and services, just navigate to soulmart.me. That's where I live in that sort of soul capacity. And don't forget, we have 2 modern mothers here who are helping you with your motherhood. Everyone is a mother or has one. So watch the latest episode of Modern Mommies. I'm so proud of the ladies for moving on. And as always, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be here. I'll be love casting outside again tomorrow with more. Until then, remember, I love you and live, love, be. This is just so ironic.
So